What's up, everyone? It's Gus, just Gus for right now, coming to you not live from Malkiericon in Prague. Ali and I have been in Europe for 2 weeks, having a wonderful time, and we have been here in Prague for 3 days. It is Sunday afternoon. We are wrapping things up, and I have decided that what we're going to do this week is I'm going to be talking to some listeners about Ali. She knows I'm doing this. It's not behind her back, and she is having such a wonderful time chatting with people because she is the most lovely, darling social butterfly that I feel like it would be cruel to pull her away. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be talking to folks. I'm going to be asking them what their favorite Ali theories are. I'm going to be asking them how they're doing here in Prague, and I'm going to be asking them a little bit about what they're excited to see Ali get to in the books. So this one is going to be pretty sensitive spoiler-wise. I'm going to say it's very likely this will be full book spoilers. If you haven't finished the books, you may want to sit this one out. We'll be back next week with the regular episodes live, not at all live, so not live from Malkiericon. It's Wheel Takes minus Ali, but with Gus. Hey folks, future Gus here. As I am editing this, I am realizing I picked up a lot of wind in some of these interviews, so occasionally the gale force blowing of wind overpowers the voices. Sorry about that. First time doing on-the-road interviews. Thanks for your understanding. All right, I'm here. We've just wrapped. I'm here with our first victim / guest. Tell everyone your name.
I am Jane, not Victoria.
That is good to know. I will not call you Victoria. Jane, how long have you been listening to Wheel Takes?
I'd say about 2.5 years.
Oh my God! Thanks for listening.
Well, thank you for doing what you do.
It's literally sitting in a room talking into a microphone with my wife. It is very easy and very fun. So. How are you doing today? Have you been having fun at the con?
I've been having an amazing time. It's been great this year. There are so many.
It's
great every year.
Eyes.
I've got my sun in my eyes, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I've had an amazing time. There's so many wonderful people here. People I've met before, but some people I haven't met before. And it's like a really lovely group of people hanging out together for a few days, having fun.
You are a perennial attendee, right? This isn't your first time?
This is not my first time. This is my second time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does that qualify as perennial, or is that still annual? I don't know enough about flowers.
Oh, I don't know enough about the English language to be definitive on that, I'm afraid.
That's fair. Well, you've been listening to Wheel Takes for a couple years, so you've been with us for a lot of Ali's greatest hits, as I'd like to call them, and the intermittent Ali whiff, which always surprises me.
Yeah.
But they do happen. So if you had to say one of your favorite theories Ali has had, doesn't have to be an active theory now. It can be something that she had thought was true that is no longer true. It can be something she currently thinks is true. What would you say you've most enjoyed her puzzle out?
I think one of the early ones, the ones that kind of immediately springs to mind is, I was wearing an Asmodean t-shirt yesterday.
Yes.
Just so quickly working out who killed Asmodean.
I couldn't handle that when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember she did it partially in person and partially in chat room online. And both trying to keep my face straight and seeing everybody else try to keep their digital faces straight.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you all do it. It's that was a fun day.
Yeah.
What was it? She got pushed over the edge by the shiver, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just the really, her mind works in a really methodical way of just going, okay, well, it can't be this and it can't be that. Don't worry about that. That's fine.
I'm trying to block the sun out of
Yeah,
this.
That's fine. It's nice. I'm a pasty British person. This is nice for a change. It just the way she kind of dismissed certain things and it's like, well, it's got to be this. I was like, what? How? I don't know. I don't know how she does it. It's crazy.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's just incredible.
So if you had to say something you're most looking forward to her learning about or reading, is it this as well?
Yeah, that. But I have to say, like then thinking about it, and I'm sure you may get this answer a few times, it's got to be Denel. Denel and Masana, that is, like, most people don't even pick up on that when they're reading, I think it happens in Towers of Midnight.
Yeah. In a Gawain chapter.
Yeah. Like, of all the places to reveal it. And it's not like this is something that she's come to much later. This is something she picked up on so quickly.
You know, she actually first had this theory during a live stream with me and Lesby Nerdy.
Yeah.
I think it may have been a Granwell Cup video.
Yeah.
She was midway through it and she was talking about Masana and talking about Denel. And she went, oh my God, what if she's Denel in disguise? And
Thank God for Jenny Ware having an avatar.
Yeah. We were very grateful for that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she immediately picked up on Denel as someone suspicious.
Yeah.
Which, most people, you read the Tower Coup. I think she appears in a scene in the Amelins chambers.
The meetings.
When Elida's kind of first been raised. And she's just a name.
Yeah.
I think she picked it up from she smirked. The smirky bee.
The smirky bee.
Exactly.
Yes. I think the last time Denel appears before that reveal is actually book 7. And then she's gone for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I see Allie over there. We have to talk a little quietly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, so first picked up in book 4?
Thereabouts.
And then reveal in book 13? And what, a 6-book gap between her last appearance and being revealed?
That's the long game.
That's wild to me. Yeah. Like, I'm very much in awe, of how she does it.
I am in awe of her most days.
Yeah.
So I get it. Well, thank you for taking a little time. I know everyone's hugging and saying goodbye and going around and doing things. So thanks for taking a little time to chat.
No, thank you very much.
And have a great rest of the con.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we are here again. I'm here with Gorgo. Would you like to go by Gorgo?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, Gorgo. How are you? How are you enjoying Prague?
It's fun. It's my first time on a con, and it's a bit overwhelming.
Yes.
The crowd, as it gets bigger, it's loud.
It is very loud, and I'll tell you, this is the smallest con I've ever been to, and it's still quite loud. It is the fun thing about getting a whole group of people, like-minded people together. How have you enjoyed getting to meet people that you may have met before online or just new people?
Well, a lot of people I met online, and it's kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I've been listening to you guys, I've been watching you for years, and now I'm actually here and see you. What's happening?
Yeah. It's a bit surreal, right? It's a little funny. Would you recommend this experience to other people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know for me, despite what it may seem, I'm actually a pretty introverted person. But coming to things like this is such a joy because I get to meet folks like you, and I get to talk with everybody. So you've been listening to Wheel Takes for recent listener. You've been around for a while.
After the first season of the show was aired, I saw people recommending your show episodes.
Ah, yes.
And let's look at it. And I realized that there's a much bigger story to this, that there's years of history, and I wouldn't be in if I just started listening to those episodes.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, we have hundreds of episodes. So I actually started listening to another podcast, the What Watch Party, which
they're excellent.
They were my gateway drug to the to the What podcast world. And after that, I realized that listening to podcasts is great while driving.
Yes.
It's much more relaxed. I don't care if there's a traffic jam because I get to listen to more podcasts.
Yep.
And when I ran out of episodes there, I'm like, okay, let's start binging. And I think I binged your backlog in about half a year.
Wow. That is. I applaud you. Hats off, because we do go on. We don't know how to stop talking.
Yeah. So that was. I realized. So one thing, driving podcasts while driving, and the other thing, if I can't fall asleep, I just put some podcasts in my ears.
Ah.
And when I realized that I can't follow, I just remove my earphones and I'm almost asleep.
It really means a lot to me that people use us as a sleep aid. It sounds like I'm being shady, but it genuinely is. So sweet.
I was one of the guys who complained about the
buzzer.
The buzzer.
The buzzer was a mistake. We tried it, and we immediately went, "Oh no, bad idea." So, well, thank you for listening and for all of your time. Now, I gotta ask you, Allie's theories. Do you have one that you either thought was really interesting, could be right, could be wrong, could be something that has been revealed, not been revealed?
So we are full spoilers.
We're full spoilers. I gave a heads up at the beginning.
I was absolutely flabbergasted when she came up with the Tower of Kinshasa
Oh
theory.
my God, yeah.
Like connecting all the dots. Jane hasn't even appeared yet in the story, and she was like, well, he must be there. Well, he might have appeared in Grandel's palace, but...
What the hell was that? What was that? That's something I had to look up. I went, that couldn't be right, and I looked it up and I went, it is commonly agreed that is Jane Farstrider.
When I was reading, I thought that Jane was someone who lived 100 years ago and died a long time ago.
Yeah, he's a folk hero, a legend, right?
Yeah.
What really got me about that one was I've never heard, I'm sure someone has, but I've never heard anyone connect the rhyme with the four of them.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, she said Warren is fire, Tom is music, Matt is iron, and Jane is courage, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, that again, this is a common theme. I've already said this in the first interview we did, but I just kind of sit there while she's saying these things and try not to move my face. So if you were to say something you are most looking forward to her reading that she hasn't read yet, doesn't have to be Genji, it can be, but something that you're really looking forward to getting her response on.
The green dress.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I feel like that's one of her biggest blind spots.
She suspects, but it's so convoluted that...
Yeah. Well, and she's assigned that to Shiriam, right?
Yeah. But now she has her thoughts about Varen, and it's fluctuating between dark or not.
Yeah, I think she doesn't want it to be true, so she's leaning away.
But it's both true and not true.
Indeed.
So that's why it's the best.
Absolutely. That's going to be a big day, I think. That'll probably be happening pretty soon, I'd say next 6 months or so.
I hope we will have some kind of a live reaction there.
I fully intend to. I think if there's any chapter that merits that.
And after that, that whole sequence of chapters.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty nonstop. It's straight into the fight, right?
The green dress is the end of a chapter.
Yeah.
Then we have a chapter with Varen, and then we have 2 chapters of fight, which are absolutely glorious.
Yeah. I can't wait. Well, thanks for taking a little time to chat with us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the con.
Thank you. It was great meeting you.
Likewise. All right. Tell the folks your name, if you don't mind.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and you may know me from supporting women's wrongs.
That is true. I noticed we've met at a few cons. You have a series of questions you like to ask people. Do you want to share them on the podcast, or would you rather that be a surprise for people who encounter you at future cons?
Oh, amazing. Let's do it. Gus, I need you to be my test subject here.
Absolutely. I'll be your stand-in.
So I have 3 questions that I need to ask you, and they're very easy questions, and the answer to all these questions is yes.
Okay. That's an easy script. I can remember that one.
So question number 1, do you support women in STEM?
Absolutely, I support women in STEM.
Great.
Science tech. Was this is science?
Technology, engineering,
and
medicine.
Medicine? Great.
Maybe maths. I don't know.
Both of them. STEM with 2 M's. We'll take it.
Honestly, science is the main point, because question number 2 is, do you support the search for new forms of renewable energy?
I think it's one of the more important searches. Yes.
Fantastic. Question number 3. Now, this one's going to sound a little bit weird, but remember the answer's yes. If the existing forms of renewable energy were sexist, that would be weird and bad, and it would be extra important to be searching maybe for a non-sexist form of energy, right?
I would say we could double down at minimum on those searches. Yes.
Mirren did nothing wrong, justice for Mirren.
There you go. Matt Hatch on his way over here would agree that Lanfear did nothing wrong.
Lanfear's awesome.
Lanfear's awesome, he says. Well, thanks for taking a little time to chat with me today. Ina, you've been listening to Wheel Takes for a while, right?
I have, yeah. I think I caught up to you sometime in 2021.
Pretty quick after we started then. I mean, we front-loaded in 2020. I think half of our episodes were in 2020. But, yeah, you've been in for the long haul.
Yeah, I started messaging you on Twitter constantly saying, I'm on this episode and I want to say something. And for some reason, I thought that I should wait to join the Discord until I was up to date. That was a mistake. I should have joined straight away.
People do that often, and I don't know why. Listen, whatever makes people comfortable.
No, get in there right away. Start talking to us. We love to hear. I'm on book 3 and Ali just said this and oh my God.
It's fun. So you've heard Ali theories that are correct. You've heard Ali theories that were proven incorrect. You may have been with us live for Gareth Brashamael, perhaps?
I'm not sure I was there live for that, sadly. No.
Well, of all of the theories, proven, disproven, yet to be proven, do you have any that you enjoy, that made you chuckle, that made your jaw hit the floor? Anything that stands out?
My favourite thing about listening with Ali is that Ali makes me care about things that I absolutely did not give a shit about when I was reading myself. And so of things that we already know, it's got to be Adelaus and Van Dien.
Oh, yes.
It is Robert Jordan who is wrong. The theory of, but if anyone cares about this, it's got to be someone interesting, someone we know, someone whose name we remember. Like, yeah, if anyone cares about this, that is true.
That's the key, if. Well, and then she watched season 2. She'd managed to double down. I'm sure you remember this. She doubled down because Varen was a stand-in for Van Dien in the show. And she says, well, Varen and Van Dien, they must be on the same team, and I'm suspicious of Varen, so I guess they must both be bad, because if they replaced Varen and they replaced Van Dien, then people would be in an uproar over the injustice to Van Dien.
Injustice to Van Dien. No one remembers which one is Van Dien and which one is Adelaus.
It's quite sad.
I don't think we remember which one dies. I remember her now because Hornley Adelaus in the show, my queen, I want to be her when I grow up.
Yes.
I have dressed as her.
Yes,
she is amazing.
I recall.
It's very comfy. Lots of cosplay is not comfy.
No.
Dressing as Adelaus, hugely comfy. She has got it right.
So highly recommended to people looking for a character to cosplay. Show Adelaus.
Absolutely.
It's the way to go.
Yeah.
Good. Well, then let me ask you this. We've got 2.5 books left to go, right? Some of the biggest reveals, as you might expect, of course, happen in the last 2.5 books. Is there anything that you are most looking forward to seeing Ali read, hearing her reaction to, seeing an epic rant, a cheer, something that I should buy champagne for?
Well, in the spirit of things that I didn't care about until Ali started caring about them, it's got to be Danelle.
Danelle.
It's got to be. That is something that I think, we're here with 70 Wheel of Time fans. Most of them, I don't think they thought that was a big reveal that they cared about, because there's a lot going on by that point.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on. And they may have thought about the mystery a little bit, but it wasn't top of their list of things to be interested in.
No.
But for Ali, it is up there.
It's going to be a big day. It might or might not be bigger than Green Dress. For her, and for nobody else.
Ali has infected us so much that when we have other first-time readers on the Discord, join the Discord, guys. When they get to that point, we are watching them for the reveal, to watch them see that Ali was right. Mm-hmm. And it is amazing. Hi, Liliandra.
The funniest thing about that, though, is if you're listening to the audiobooks, Michael Kramer and Kay Redding, how do they pronounce Danelle?
I believe in that instance, for one, you're in like a Gowan chapter or
Yes.
something, so your brain might not be all the way there. And what Liliandra wrote down was, who the fuck is Anella?
Anella.
Who the fuck is Anella?
The double reveal. We said, and readers will get there and go, I don't know who this is, and everyone has to step and say, no. Remember who Allie thought? She's weirdly right.
Weirdly.
Yeah, of all the weirdly
that's
rights.
Lucky bee.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, thank you for taking a little time out of the end of the con to talk to us today. Us being me, the royal us. Me and Allie, who's way over there not listening.
Hi, future Allie.
In a year and a half or two.
Yeah, see you then.
All right, tell the folks at home and in the car who you are, and in this case, what are you doing here? What do you do at Malkiericon?
Hi, I'm Sulin. I'm one of the co-hosts on the Flickerfest show and a long-time fan of the Wheel Takes podcast.
Oh, shucks.
And here at Malkiericon, I'm on the committee. I help program and operationally run the convention with Rob, and it's a lot of fun every year.
And it has been a lot of fun this year. I got to tell you, it has been really fun to watch you, Sulin, run around behind the scenes as Rob runs around in front of the scenes, and the two of you just carrying this thing on your shoulders, with many other assistants, of course. But it's been a blast to be here and be part of it.
Good.
And you have been involved in the con every year. Is that right?
Yeah, but never to this extent. This year was the first taking on some of the programming and the more operational stuff. But I think within 5 minutes of meeting Rob at the first WhatCon, I'd offered to help. Because that's just who I am, and I run events for a living, so it feels rude to not offer.
Well, it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Well, you've done a phenomenal job. I've had a fantastic time at this convention.
You've enjoyed the panels?
I loved the panels. The panels were great. I had the honor of being on one of them, and Allie had the honor of being on a couple of them.
Yeah.
And the other ones were as fun.
Good.
It's as fun to be on as it is to watch. So thanks for including us. Big, longtime fan of yours as well. But you've been listening to Wheel Takes for quite a while. Is that right?
Yeah.
A couple years?
3, I want to say.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have been with us for a lot of Allie's highlights and lowlights.
Yes.
Not that there are many lowlights, but the things where she guesses and then it is wrong.
Yes.
Of all of the things that you have heard, they can have come to pass, they can have been disproven, they can be yet to come, they can be yet to not come. Is there anything that you have most enjoyed hearing her mull over?
My favourite is actually quite a recent theory of Allie's, which is Matt, Tom, and Noel, aka Jane from Fast Rider, being the ones who will go into the Tower of Genji to rescue the very, very long overdue Moraine. And how she sort of developed that theory very, very quickly from basically the letter.
Yeah.
And it came about, and she's obviously spot on. And I can't wait to see that pan out for her.
I don't remember. Did she figure out what the Ashandarai is for? Because I think she's come close.
I feel like she's really close.
Yeah.
Because she knows it's going to be used.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if she knows she's figured out exactly how.
Yeah.
But if she hasn't, then she's super close.
Yeah. It's like it was for me a lot like watching her dance around half the light of the world.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, there's like 2 neurons that have to click.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one freaked me out.
Yeah.
When she came up with that. So if you had to say something you're most looking forward to seeing her experience, would it be Genji?
No. I think the thing I'm most looking forward to her seeing is the quite near the end of the book, the last book, obviously, where Rand is fighting the Dark One. And it was about the Maul moment.
Yeah.
And specifically when Egwene speaks to Rand and says, you have to let us die for you. And it's a moment that makes me sort of sob every time. And I feel like there's enough trauma in earlier in that book that Allie's going to cry. And I just feel like this will be the sort of that moment for her.
That's in the last battle chapter, right? Or is it in the chapter?
I feel like it's the chapter after.
Okay. Because, something that we have been kicking around is doing a mega live stream where she listens to, for charity, probably for Books for Prisoners, where she listens all the way through that 8.5-hour chapter. So we may be able to experience that one live with her.
I would love that. There's so many moments. But I feel like also maybe do it in 2, because there's a lot of emotion in that, and it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to read in one sitting, let alone listen to and react and aware that you're publicly. So
and process
and then come back to it. Like, there's no way she can make notes on that, right?
Not so much. It's going to be a lot of screaming.
I feel like the next episode when you say, Ali, where are we?
Tears.
She'll just break.
Yeah. Everyone's dead.
It's dead.
So, well, thanks for taking a little time out of your busy schedule to chat with me today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Charlie is back. She has said she needs to do 15 more seconds because she lied.
Hi, this is Charlie from the future. I did not join in 21. I joined you all in 22. I just feel like I've known you longer.
I'm glad you corrected because I was getting ready to press libel charges. Yes, no. Welcome. Thank you. I'm here with Dr. Mickey. Dr. Mickey, say hi.
Hi.
You have the distinction of having been the first person that we ever shouted out on the podcast before we had the Patreon. Did you know that?
I did, and I feel so honored.
It was an honor for us as well. How have you been enjoying Prague?
It's been amazing. I knew it was going to be great, but it's actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Have you been to Prague before? Is this your first time in the city?
No, this is the second time I've been, but the first time was only for a couple of days, and so I've got more time now, and with better people here. I mean, not better people. Sorry, Matt. I was here with my son before, but
I don't think we've met, myself and your son.
I don't.
No.
I should introduce you. At some
I think
point.
that would be fun.
Yeah, that should be good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, yeah, but no, it's been great, and the people have been great, and it's just a gorgeous city,
isn't it?
Yeah, and then the con has been so much fun. I've been to Jordan Con. This is really a great vibe because it is slightly smaller, and then you just get to meet and hang out with so many cool people.
Yeah, I think probably like a 10th the size of Jordan Con.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a very different vibe. Love Jordan Con, but different vibe, different place too.
Yeah.
Jordan Con, there's less going and exploring Dunwoody. There's more going and exploring Prague.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, you have been one of the longest time listeners we've had, I want to say. Do you have an alley theory that is foremost in your mind?
I had one in mind initially, but now that you've said, I really have. You got me through early times of the pandemic. I don't know if it was a theory, but the early part of you should just put him in a box and carry him to Tarvalin.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's why we started the podcast.
Yes, exactly. That was that hooked me. That was like, oh, I need to listen to these guys now. I want to hear where this goes. So I think that is probably one of my favorites.
That was the thing. We were getting off a plane or something, and in 2018, practically, and she was talking about the book. She said, this kid is so stubborn. If I were Moraine, I'd just hit him on the head, and I'd put him in a box, and I'd take him to Tarvalin. And I said, we should start a podcast. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That hasn't been said yet. Mm-hmm. So thank you for being the first to share that.
I'm so glad. Thank you for bringing back that very fond memory.
It's a classic. So we've got 2.5 books left.
Yeah, I know.
Which is weird.
I know.
Think.
I'm excited and sad, and I imagine you are all the same.
It's a beautiful melancholy.
Yeah.
To steal a phrase from Allie. Mm-hmm. Many highlights, many big moments in the last 2 books. Some she will be excited about, some she will be furious about.
Yeah.
Anything in particular you are looking forward to either hearing her reaction to, or hearing her rant about, or anywhere in between?
I mean, all of them?
Yeah,
there's so many that could be named. I know that there's some that, those of us who've been online chatting with each other, we've talked about a lot. But I think my personal one is Egwene's final moments.
Yeah.
For me, that's such an emotional moment, and such a poignant moment, and such a pivotal moment in the story. And I think, she also was I think talking about that when the show came out, about the connection between Rand's story and Egwene's story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that the ending is written about how allowing Egwene to become her own hero. Mm-hmm. I feel teary just even talking about it.
Yeah,
like
big
so
moment.
I want that. I want to see that happen.
It's going to be a big one for her.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And although that last battle is so big, there's so many big moments that it's it'll be interesting to see which of those moments really stick, because I think that's why so many of us reread, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that because there are moments that maybe don't hit us the first time, but hit us on a reread.
And there are moments that hit for Allie in particular that most people never even register. I feel like, and Adelius Van Dien became such a focal point. So I'm excited to see what she
Janelle
latches.
who?
Yeah, again, I'm excited to see what she latches onto that everybody goes, oh, that? Oh, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, it'll be fun. Well, thanks for taking a little time out of your day to talk.
My
It's been a
pleasure.
joy as always.
Yes.
All right, tell the people your name.
Now that you're all done talking about me behind my back, my name's Allie.
And how long have you been listening to Wheel Takes? I don't think we've met. This may be the first time
Who are you?
we've encountered one
I
another.
don't know who you are.
At the con.
So I am the co-host of Wheel Takes. So I have been, well, I don't listen to our podcast very regularly. I occasionally will check in on really old episodes just to see if I missed anything, or like if there's anything still relevant, or if you're sneaking stuff by me, which is fun. But I've been, I guess speaking Wheel Takes for 4 years now, almost 5.
Almost 5.
Wow.
September of, actually it might be 5 like today. It was September of 2019.
Wow, that's wild.
That's bizarre. Well, you've been with Allie for all of Allie's theories.
Yes.
There've been some that have been right. There have been some that have been wrong.
Some.
And there have been some that you are yet to know whether they are right or wrong.
It's true.
Of all of the theories that Allie has said, which has brought you the most enjoyment? Or, the one you're most excited to see?
To see come to fruition?
Or not?
Come to fruition?
Sure.
I mean, there are a bunch. Whether Grendel killed Asmodean, I feel like...
You have to pick one.
Daenerys Masana.
Daenerys Masana is the one you're most excited to determine?
If that were to happen, I would be the most insufferable person anyone has ever met in their life. But Grendel killed Asmodean is close to that, I think.
Fair enough.
Because I feel like I had nothing to go on for both.
And you came to a conclusion. It may or may not be the right conclusion. We'll have to.
If those two are right. If those two are right. Jane Farstrider is the old man in Grendel's room.
That's a fun one. I still don't know where you got that.
Because that would
funny.
be so funny.
Well, thanks. I forgot your name.
What did other people say?
I can't tell you that. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today. Do check out the podcast. It's called Wheel Takes.
I'm rooting for those kids.
Thank you. All right. Tell the listeners who you are and what you do.
I'm Camille, a Celebrational Nerd on Twitter. I am the co-host of Queers of Time, the Queer Wheel of Time podcast.
It's terrific.
Sure.
Allie is a frequent intermittent contributor. I guess we should get farther from her, I suppose. I can tell you're lowering your voice.
I actually checked. She's been on 4 episodes so far. She's a guest that has shown up the most on Quiz of Time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, as the
she can't even listen to us because we are full spoiler.
As the resident data expert, I trust that you are absolutely correct in saying that.
Yes.
How have you been enjoying Prague and the con?
It's been great. I've never been to Prague before, so it was nice that Malkiericon moved to here. A lot more people joined, a few people from the US, so that was nice to see those people again.
Have you been before? Is this your first year?
Malkiericon, no, I've been to all of them.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 years in Manchester, I've been there.
Good.
Yeah.
So bigger this year, it seems.
Yeah, it went from 55 people in person to 75, something like that. So,
and we'll be back in Prague next year.
Be back in Prague next year, yeah.
Well, I know we spoke earlier, and you caveated this by saying that you're behind on the podcast.
I'm way behind on your podcast.
Which we talk forever, so I completely get you there.
Yeah.
Nobody owes us listens at all. But you wanted to share your favorite Allie theory.
So kind of a context, I found your podcast during the first season, so I listened to your show episode, and at the same time you were, I think, on New Spring.
Yes.
So even if it wasn't like your first episode, I was like, oh, that's kind of a new book. Let's catch up on those episodes, see how that go. And I think it's in those episodes that Ali really dived on into the marine rescue theory about.
I think she started getting into it there. Yeah.
In the Tower of Genji and what would happen to Matt and the whole thing with the losing half of the light of the world and this kind of thing. And I didn't know you two before that, and I was like, this is insane. This is exactly what happened. What is going on?
I think, you know what? You said, as we were walking up, you said, I'm afraid this might be the most common answer. It is, but for good reason. Because every time I remember that, it blows my mind.
Because, I think it's one of the first time I actually, maybe I DM'd you or something like that at that moment, because I'm like, this is insane. How can someone... I mean, of course, all of the hints are there, but connecting them requires someone special, and Ali is someone special.
I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
I mean, you married us.
Yeah, I'm biased. I'm a big fan. So, I mean, for me, nobody has said this one yet, but for me, I think the one that blew my mind the most was when she said, I don't know, maybe Rand and Moradin end up, Rand's soul goes into Moradin's body at the end of it, and that's how he doesn't die, and Moradin's body goes into Rand's, and I went, oh, shit. How weird.
How weird. I don't know where you have those kind of findings.
Well,
it's never gonna happen, Ali.
That doesn't seem possible. But
Daniel is no one. Daniel doesn't exist. Yeah. I don't know why you're caring about her.
Yeah, Danelle. Yeah, my God.
That's how you say that.
Either way. Well, it's funny, and I was talking to somebody else about this earlier. The audiobooks pronounce her name variably as Danelle.
Danelle, yeah.
And Danella.
Oh.
Yeah. So sometimes people will listen, and they'll hear that, it was Danella. And they'll go, who? Who's Anella? They go, it's Danelle. It's the one Ali thought. And they go, it's what? But so we're currently at the top of Gathering Storm in the podcast. Obviously, lots happens in the last 3 books. Is there anything that you are eager to see Ali rail against, be excited about, shock herself at from the end of the books?
So, I mean, I'm also currently rereading The Gathering Storm. We've been... we're not a reader podcast, particularly with The Curse of Time, but we are rereading currently the last 3 books and making a few episodes about that, because James really wanted to reread those books and get an excuse for those. And so we're starting The Gathering Storm, and I know I love Egwene's arc in that book. And I just would love Ali to get that and to enjoy that also.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm also very much looking forward to those last few, the last battle basically, and Memory of Light. Especially since Ali has been loving the show a lot and finding reason for changes in the show and this kind of thing, and I just want her to see the connection between that final Rand Aishi scene in season 1,
absolutely,
and what's going on at the end of the books. I think that she's gonna enjoy that too a lot.
I have a harebrained scheme that after we finish the books, I say we're gonna go and we're gonna do season 1, and we're just gonna do I know we already talked for 500 hours about season 1, but we're going to do a quick season 1 addendum now that you've finished the books. So you can say these are the things. I get this now.
I'll be looking forward to listening to that.
It should be fun. I'm optimistic. But also, speaking of Egwene's arc, we're right at the start of that where it's ramping up, and she is loving it.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, really, from that, it's weird. Egwene only gets 1 chapter in Knife of Dreams.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole arc in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And go ahead, sorry.
She got captured, and I don't remember exactly what happened in Knife of Dreams, because we directly started with The Gathering Storm, and I don't remember the book before.
It's the chapter called Honey in the Tea, and basically what happens is it goes from her being spanked, and dismissed by the novices until at the end of the chapter, the novices stand when she comes into the dining hall and are giving her honey.
Is that where she talks with that Bronaja's sister about the Amirlin that got stealed and that the history got erased?
and
I
she
really
says,
love that moment.
And she says, well, yeah, I know it because it's in the Amerlin histories, and I'm an Amerlin, so I should know that. And Allie is loving it, so I can't wait for her to read the rest of it.
So good. So good. I love Egwene.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking a little time out of your afternoon to chat.
No problem.
And
Always a pleasure.
Everyone check out Queers of Time. It's very, very good.
Sure.
All right, everybody. This was a fun little experiment. I know that there were quite a few people here who I did not get the opportunity to talk to. If you are listening, I'm sorry. I came up with this idea pretty late in the game, and I didn't have time to track everybody down. But thanks to everybody who said hi, and thanks to everybody who is listening and continuing to listen. I'm really excited about the next 2.5 books, and I hope you are too. So, other than that, anything... Oh, yeah. Hey, I guess I should do the outro. Thanks for listening, everyone. This has been Wheel Takes Podcast. We have social media if you want to know what we're up to. We've got going on. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. You can also buy merch, and I'm very bad at doing this walking around a yard with my phone rather than in front of a microphone. For some reason, my brain can't relate the two things. Anything else? Allie, over there? No? Thanks for everyone listening for... Yes, bye.